All right, everyone, welcome to KK4Z. I am out doing an activation today. I'm taking a little break. I had 39 contacts so far, some DX, and it was pretty interesting. I think the frequency I was on got poached, so I'm going to take a break and then move to another frequency. No sense being a butt about it, but I am in Talladega National Forest, and I am near the top of Flag Mountain. Just kind of off to the side of the road here. I didn't find a real primo spot, but hey, this works. I'm out of the way. Just a quick show of what's going on here. The antenna today is my vertical. It is a camera tripod with a Chameleon micro and a buddy pole 12-foot fiberglass antenna, fed with I believe that's RG8X into it. Today I'm traveling a little heavy. I normally like to bring one of my QRP rigs out, but in a couple weeks I'll be taking a weekend and taking a cabin up in Fort Mountain State Park, and I'm gonna do a lot of POTA stuff, so I figured I would break out my trusty old 7300 and see how that's doing, and it's working just fine. This is new. This is something I created. Was a little bit of a desk so I can operate from inside my cab. It's not my preference, but when it's cold outside, my hands stop working, so I decided to go ahead and try this out. These are 2x6s, and I cut them to height, and this is just some 3/8 plywood just stuck on top. It's just small. I mean, it's real easy to take care of. I'm also using my Bengali Traveler Light paddles, which I like a lot, and I'm trying out my Windkeer USB to see how I like that. I discover that when I'm operating like this, I would rather keep a paper log than a computer log. I thought about doing hammers, but I'm just an old guy. The radio's being fed by a 20 amp hour battery, an LG Z11 Pro, which I've had for about 15 years, and I'm running about 35 watts. I've got a couple F stations and one E station. I'm not sure where that DX is, but I've worked people all over the country, except really close by. I've gotten people as far away as Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Idaho, up into New York, over into Texas, Maine, Puerto Rico. So it's been a good day. I've been out for about an hour, hour and a half. I'll probably do a little bit more than head for the house. Like I said, I normally like to bring one of my smaller QRP rigs, but I wanted to give this thing a workout before I took it on for a weekend of heavy duty stuff. My intention is to do some 160 meters work. And I want to get in here real quick so I kind of show you what it looks like from my point of view. And see, my hands are naturally there. Everything is right here. This is a cheap Amazon clock, helps me with the time. And then my chicken scratch and the pencil. So it's working well. I may you know, I do need to make a couple of changes, nothing drastic, but everything's working as advertised. I really appreciate it. So anyhow, that's everything, and that's all I got for you all. So everybody stay safe out there in 73s. All right, so a little bit of a recap. I'm on my way home. I had a good day up there on Flag Mountain. Again, it wasn't a spot. It was just the top of Flag Mountain. I just pulled over the side of the road and operated. Talladega is a big place, and there's lots of room for everybody. What I like about it is where I was all the forestry service roads, which are slightly less improved than what a lot of people are accustomed to. So I think in some respects that may keep the population down there. But I maybe had a half a dozen to a dozen trucks pass me while I was operating. all in all, it was quiet. Lots of contacts. I did only CW, and I was only running about 35 watts. Again, I was taking the 7300 out because I kind of wanted to ring it out a little bit to make sure it was okay for my next activation, which will be up in Fort Mountain State Park in Georgia, and we have a cabin there, so I have mains power, and you know, I can run a lot more than just off a battery, so that's going to be fun. I just wanted to make sure everything worked, and everything did. I did forget to bring a couple things, but as you can see, it didn't stop me. My new truck desk worked really, really well. I was very pleased with that. That is a prototype, but it may just become my desk because it works so well. I may just slap some polyurethane on it and call it good. The key I used was a Bengali Traveler Light. They like to call it light, but it weighs almost a pound. But for a portable key where you're not worried about weight, it's kind of hard to beat. It feels a lot like my simplex paddles I have at home. In general, it was kind of fun, but I think I really like doing the QRP thing, bringing less gear, and you know, not as much heavy stuff. But again, I was making sure my radio worked for my next trip. I'm going to try and run 160 meters, which is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this radio, because I think in general that if you're running 160 meters, you probably have to push out a little more than 5, 10, or even 20 watts. And so I'd like to push out at least 40 or 50, and I think that'll be just fine. The antenna I used today was what I call my standard Frank antenna, and that is comprised of a camera tripod and a Chameleon micro transformer, and then on top of that, this time I just ran my 12-foot buddy pole fiberglass 7-section antenna, and it worked just fine. In the past video I added some buddy pole sections, but I think in general I really don't need it. Looking at my little chart I made, the SWR doesn't change that much when you are adding those sections. It does a little bit, and it may help on the lower bands like 80 or 160, but generally when I'm operating for POTA, I am typically doing from 40 to 20, maybe 15. Like today, the majority of my contacts were on 20 meters because that was the best band. I started on 40, and really I think I made one contact on 40, and that was it. And so but the antenna tuned it just fine. I did make a contact on 30. It was a good day. It was. I really enjoyed it. So that being said, I'm going to go home and put all my stuff into probably AC log, and then I'll get it ready to upload to the POTA coordinator tonight, and then maybe I'll do a QSO map. I'll have some more information about what some of the things I did on my blog site, KK4Z.com. I'm kind of going back and forth. I really, I like to do the video activations, but I also like, I like the written word, and I kind of like to do the reviews more in a Word format, printed or written. Just because I can gather my thoughts a little there and add pictures. So there probably will be a write-up coming here shortly on my Traveler Light. I've had that paddle for a while. I really like it. It does have a kind of a niche in the CW world, but it was a lot of fun. Anyhow, it was a good day today. Again, I was trying to see how I could operate from inside my truck, And mainly I was doing that because it is getting cold outside, and my poor old hands, when they get cold, they quit working. And so it was nice being someplace where my hands stayed warm, and I was able to operate longer. Towards the end, I was getting a little tired. I had, like I said, probably about 40 plus contacts, and a lot of them were rapid fire. I didn't have a lot of singles. I had lots of groups. And you know, one thing about the difference between hunting and activating is when you're activating, you know, there's just a lot of distractions, both on the radio and off the radio, and so there's just a lot going on. Whereas when you're hunting, you know, I think I can concentrate on more. Then I'm concentrating on one person, not 5 or 6 trying to contact me. And a couple call signs just kind of threw me for a loop. I mean, I had mental block, but we got it. And I appreciate all the hunters out there that were patient. Some of you guys up in Canada, you know, I appreciate you. A couple countries with the F prefix, that kind of threw me a little bit. I wasn't expecting, I just don't expect that, you know, running a low power, you know, with a small antenna up on a mountain somewhere, working people from DX, but I got some, so that was actually pretty cool. I think they were from France. I'll have to, you know, double check that when I get home, but I'll do a QSO map and get it on, at least on my website. So that's pretty much it. A good day. It's just a nice day to be outside. Nice to see that my stuff is still working as advertised. I'm really pleased with everything. And so we'll catch you at the next activation, which will be in a couple weeks. So this is KK4Z saying stay safe in 73s.